Hi everyone, I hope you're really well. So I've been tagged in a Christmas tag video by Holly over on Hollife. So I will link her channel up here and down in the description box. I love Christmas so much. When I saw this tag, I was just like, yes. It's quite a few questions for me to go through, so I'm just literally going to dive right in. So thank you so much to Holly for tagging me in this video. Go check her channel out if you haven't and give her some love. So the first question is probably the hardest out of the whole lot, and that is, what is my favourite Christmas film? There's no way I can pick one. I don't want to be limited, but I do have like a top 9 or 10, I think. Miracle on 34th Street, the 90s version, I just love the story of that, and I love the idea of taking someone who thinks they're Father Christmas to court. I think it's absolutely brilliant, so I love that film. The Grinch, bit of a classic. I just love the bonkers universe of Dr. Seuss anyway. I love the Christmas light machine that one of the characters has, where it's just like a machine gun and it's kind of like machine gunning lights on the outside of their house. I also love the Polar Express. I wasn't a big fan of motion capture when it first came out, but actually I really love this film. The adults couldn't hear the bell, but the children could. Oh, just love it. Again, it just gives you all those warm fuzzy feelings that you want to feel when you're watching a Christmas film. And who doesn't love a bit of Tom Hanks, even if it is just in voice? Next, obviously, is It's a Wonderful Life, because it's just such a gorgeous film, and I can't actually remember a Christmas where we haven't watched it. It's just always been there, so it's a big tradition. I've also got The Snowman on my list. I have such fond memories of that from when I was a child. Lovely film, really sad. Really sad. I've also got Santa Claus the movie, because again, that film just really reminds me of my childhood so much. I know it's quite long as well, isn't it? I seem to remember when I was quite young, maybe sort of under 10, it always used to be on really early on Christmas morning. So I just remember I have really fond memories of sitting down to watch the film in the morning whilst Mum was trying to get the Christmas lunch ready. I've also got Elf, because that film is such good fun. I think with Christmas films, warm fuzzy feelings are a must, but also just good, honest fun. And Santa! I know him! I've also got The Nutcracker, and I really love the San Francisco Ballet version of it, which is usually on around Christmas time. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The music is just so Christmassy. It's obviously set around Christmas time. Absolutely love it. And the last one I've got, yeah, see, it's taken me this long just to mention Christmas films. I'm so sorry. But the last one I've got is A Christmas Carol, the Patrick Stewart version, because I think he makes an excellent Scrooge. And I love the story. It's just so festive. It just has such a wonderful ending too. I really must read the book. It's on my list of things to read. Next question is, have I ever had a white Christmas? I'm pretty sure I've had at least 2. I remember one where it was just completely random. We were living somewhere quite close to the water in Cornwall, so not somewhere you would typically really see much snow. And we had my father-in-law around for Christmas, and we won't mention that. It just randomly started to snow, and it was the most surreal, magical, amazing moment. I'd love to see that again now that I'm that bit older and have a child. The other time, I think, was when I was much younger, and again, we didn't tend to see a lot of snow that much, being near the water. But we did have one white Christmas there, and I seem to remember it was quite thick snow as well, so I'm pretty sure that was Christmas anyway, so I think I've had at least 2, but another one would be amazing. Next question is, where do I spend Christmas? It's always at home. We did have one Christmas where my mother-in-law took us out for lunch, and I think we all agreed it just seemed really surreal. It just didn't feel like Christmas at all, really. But I know a lot of people do that, and you know, it's what suits them. For me, it's about being at home with your family in whatever way and shape and form that takes. For me, Christmas is a family time, so being able to spend time together and just feeling really blessed, really. So definitely at home. Okay, we've got another tricky one here. What's my favourite Christmas song? I've been listening to quite a few Christmas songs lately, and it's been really making me feel very festive. But in terms of a favourite, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I like that one. I love so many. It would be really difficult to list them, but I pretty much like anything, to be honest. There's none that really bother me. I'll happily listen to them on loop until Christmas Day. Do we open any presents on Christmas Eve? We don't, and I know some people think that's a bit of a weird concept, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is usually for people who have children, because Christmas Day obviously very much turns into a day for the children, and the parents can kind of get a little bit forgotten about, and it's a nice opportunity to be able to swap presents with each other, maybe just one or something, because it just gives you a nice time with each other to really take in the moment of what you've got each other. So I do actually really like the idea of it now that we've got a child. We're not planning to do anything this year, I don't think, but when our little boy gets older, I should imagine we'll probably do one sort of special Christmas Eve present, because I do quite like the idea of it. It just makes the moment a little bit more special, really. Can I name all of Father Christmas's reindeer? Okay, this is one of these classic pub quiz questions, isn't it? There's quite a few of them, and I'm thinking of that poem, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get these in the right order from that poem.
On Dancer, on Prancer, on Donner, on Blitzen, on Comet, on Cupid, on... who have I forgotten? Dancer, Prancer, Donner, Blitzen. My mind has gone blank. Obviously Rudolph.
They're all really similar names, so it all gets a bit muddled in my head.
Dancer, Prancer, Donner, Blitzen, Comet, Cupid, Rudolph. Who have I missed? I think I've missed another couple. I can't think. That's going to really irritate me.
Dancer, Prancer, Donner, Blitzen, Comet, Cupid. Have I said Vixen? Dancer, Prancer, Donner, Blitzen, Comet, Cupid, Vixen. I'm sure there's a Vixen in there somewhere. Rudolph. I'm really sorry if I've forgotten any of you reindeer, but I think I did pretty well though, to be fair. What holiday traditions am I looking forward to? We don't really have that many as such. We did have when I was little, and I was obviously still living at home, so when I was quite young. But the beauty now of having my own family is that we can come up with our own traditions. And one thing my husband and I agreed on is every year we would get a new decoration, or we'd let our little boy choose a new decoration for our Christmas tree. So over the years, obviously, we can start to see his little collection grow, and then that'll be something we can pass on to him when he's old enough. So that's one thing we'd really like to do. Other traditions are just really around, we kind of always eat the same thing for breakfast. We always have really nice pastries like croissants, pain au chocolat, that kind of thing, and maybe some really nice orange juice like clementine juice or something. So those are the only traditions that I can kind of think of right now, but I'm sure as our little boy gets older, we'll come up with lots more of exciting things to do. Real or fake tree? Absolutely real. We did buy a fake tree one year. This is going back about 10 years or something, maybe 12. It was just a mistake. They're actually quite stressful to put together, or at least this one was. It wasn't one of these ones where it just kind of like folds in on itself and then you just pull everything out. You had like colour-coded little things to put in. Oh, it was such a faff. I don't know what kind of prompted us to get a fake tree that year, because my family's always been about real trees. We always had real trees when I was little, and that in itself was a lovely thing to go and pick out every year. We're picking out our tree very soon. In fact, when this video goes live, I'm sure we probably will have already got our tree, so I'm so excited. We try and get a really big, fluffy one is what we usually go for, so really excited to get that one. What's my favourite Christmas treat? I'm not sure. I know when I was younger, still living at home, I have really fond memories of when my sister used to live that bit further away, and kind of everyone used to travel back to our house to spend time at Christmas. When I was of an age where I could kind of get away with requesting an alcoholic drink, she always used to say to me, "What do you want?" because she would buy everything, and that obviously felt like a treat, because I can't remember how old I was when I did that, but I'm pretty sure I was under 18. I think I just used to go for a baby sham. If my sister is watching this, let me know if I've got that right, because I'm pretty sure that's what we used to do. And maybe, what was the other one? That was snowballs? So that used to be quite a nice treat to look forward to, particularly when you're underage. In terms of nowadays, I think, to be honest, it's just a case of looking forward to lots of really indulgent food. It does seem to be like a day or a week or however long of just indulgent, crazy eating. There'll be bowls of nibbles everywhere. You can kind of get away with eating chocolate biscuits for breakfast. Another memory I have from when I was much younger is when we were opening our stockings, Mum would bring us up a cup of tea in bed, and we'd have chocolate biscuits, and that was before breakfast. But it's Christmas Day and it felt really special. But yeah, a roast with all the trimmings, like really nice stuffing, all of that good stuff, where you put in loads and loads of effort to make the world's most amazing roast. So that's probably what I'm most looking forward to. Do I like giving or receiving better? That's really easy. I've always much preferred giving presents, even when I was quite young. I don't know why. I think I just love seeing the reaction on people's face, which is a shame in a way because some of my family live quite far away, so we end up having to swap presents much earlier, and I don't actually get to see them open the presents that I've got them. So obviously I'm missing the reaction there, and it's the initial reaction that you love, but definitely prefer giving. The receiving is nice, but definitely prefer giving. What's the best gift I've ever received? I'm really struggling to think of something specific. I'm sure I've received many amazing gifts over the years, but to be honest, I am the easiest to please person when it comes to Christmas presents, so I'm usually just absolutely delighted with anything, but nothing specific kind of stands out. I'm sure I've received some amazing stuff over the years, so apologies for my terrible memory. Where would be my dream place to visit at Christmas? I'd always really like to go to New York in the build up to Christmas, but another place that I really want to go, and I think we will probably make that happen at some point when our little boy is a bit older, is we're going to go to Lapland. Not only will he love it, but to be honest, I've always wanted to go as well and actually meet the big man himself and his reindeer, and it'll be cold and snowy and just very Christmassy and festive. So absolutely Lapland. Not very original, but am I good at wrapping presents? Absolutely. When I put the effort in and I take my time, then yes, definitely. I have been known to hurry them before, and I'm not proud, but you know, sometimes you kind of get a bit of wrapping present fever and you just like, oh. But what I like to do is either put a Christmas film on or listen to some carols or something really festive and just sit down and really enjoy it. And I usually have a little bit of a theme each year based around kind of traditional colours is what I usually like. So yeah, I do regard myself as a good wrapper of presents. What's my most memorable Christmas moment? Again, it's going to be back to my childhood because that's the time for Christmas that I remember most fondly, really. It was about everyone coming on Christmas Eve and gradually people turning up, and it was like that excitement building of all the family coming together. Because we had quite a few people around, obviously we didn't have an infinite number of bedrooms, so what we used to do is me and my two sisters would sleep in the same room. Whoever drew the short straw would be in bed with me because apparently I kicked a lot, and one of my other sisters would be sleeping on the floor. Those times for me, there's not one particular moment that kind of sticks out for me, but it's just the collective memory of that kind of family Christmas, and I miss it so much. And if I could recreate any of those times, I would do in an absolute heartbeat because it was just some of the best memories ever. I keep saying to Mum, one Christmas, when we can afford it, I'm going to rent a really big, gorgeous kind of rustic barn with lots of bedrooms, and we're going to do it again one last time, which I know sounds a bit final and depressing, but I think it would be absolutely magical. When did I stop believing in Father Christmas? Well, I haven't. Of course he's real. What a silly question. Do I make New Year's resolutions and stick to them? Generally speaking, no. However, I do have a few for 2017 that I really want to accomplish and stick to. I don't want to kind of regret thinking another year has passed and the things that I want to work on haven't improved. So to give myself the extra motivation, I am planning on videoing some of this stuff just so that I'm sitting down to the camera to talk to you guys and I can check in with you, and it just gives me that little extra bit of motivation, and hopefully you guys will cheer me on as well and we'll do it together. So if you've got any New Year's resolutions that you want help with, let me know in the comments and we'll help each other, because I love the idea of them. I love starting the new year afresh and the promise it brings, and I just don't want to get to the end of the year kind of with any regret and thinking, that's another year gone, why didn't I do X, Y, Z? What are my favourite Christmas colours? Really easy, I am so traditional. Red, gold and green. Just those three colours really. Our Christmas tree is those kind of colours, maybe with a little bit of white as well. I think this has probably come from my mum because she's very traditional when it comes to Christmas decorations as well, and those are just the colours that I remember whilst I was growing up and having lots of foliage around the house. She used to go out and get loads of evergreen and put it on top of the cabinets in the kitchen and have baubles hanging, and oh, it just used to look amazing. And when we are in our forever home, I am definitely going to be recreating that look because it just looks so cosy and welcoming and festive. What's my biggest Christmas pet peeve? It's probably just the pressure of everything for one day. It feels like a lot of build-up, particularly from a commercial point of view. There's a lot of adverts, you've got the must buy, this, that and whatever, and it does feel like a huge amount of pressure for the one day. And I know a lot of families, and ours included, do spread that over a little bit longer because there's no way you can see everyone in one day, it just wouldn't be possible. So we usually see people in and around Christmas too, which is nice and it breaks it up a little bit. But I do think people put a lot of pressure on themselves for the day, for being able to please other people, whether it be through their cooking or their hosting or their gift giving as well. People have very high expectations, and I don't think the commercial aspect of Christmas really helps with that, with the adverts that you see and films that we watch. So for me personally, it's just about remembering that it's just a really special family time for us all to be together and just show how much we love each other, really. Do I plan ahead or procrastinate? Probably a bit of both. There's a fair amount of procrastination that goes on, although I would like to be much more organised next year, and I think because of the fact that we have a child now whose birthday is also in December, we're definitely going to have to start planning a lot better. I do like being organised, and that is part of one of my New Year's resolutions, so we shall see about next year. When do we put up our Christmas tree and take it down? Well, when it was just me and my husband, we used to always have a tradition of putting it up around the second weekend in December. So not the first weekend, because that always felt a bit early, but definitely the second weekend, no later than that. But now we've got a child, we've just been feeling really festive a lot earlier, so I think we're going to move it and we're actually going to do it on the first weekend in December. I'm so excited to get our tree. By the time this video goes up, I think we will have already got it, so it will be in here somewhere. And when we take it down, we don't strictly observe the 12th night thing. We usually leave it up for New Year's and then bring it down shortly after that, maybe even New Year's Day, I think, just to kind of start the new year afresh, really. What's at the top of our tree? It's been the same decoration for about, it's got to be a good 12 years now, and it's a Father Christmas. It's the most gorgeous handmade out of polymer clay Father Christmas, and I absolutely love him. One year we went to this gorgeous garden centre where we live, which is very famous for doing the most amazing Christmas decorations, although not so much now. They used to be really well known for it. And we spent an absolute fortune on Christmas decorations, and we've still got most of them. A couple of them have broken. Yeah, we have the most gorgeous, happy, colourful Father Christmas, and I love him. Do we decorate the outside of our house? We don't, and we haven't done, but I would definitely like to in the future. Again, that was something my mum used to do. We used to have outdoor lights that would go in one of the trees outside, and it just looked really festive and lovely. So in the future, if we do have somewhere outside we can put something, then we will do. I'm not sure if we'd put something on the house, but I think in the tree looks really pretty. What's on my wish list this year? Quite an easy one, this. I've already done a video on what's on my Christmas wish list, so I will pop a card up to link that one if you've not seen it. I'm actually really easy to please for gifts in general. Like I said earlier, you could literally buy me anything, I think, and I would be happy. But generally speaking, for Christmas, on the top of my wish list would be things like fluffy socks, because you just can't have too many, really nice pyjamas, bath and body stuff, and that's about it really. I'm really happy with all those kind of things. Like I said, I'm really easy to buy for, so really happy with anything like that. What's something I've asked for but never received? The thing that comes straight to mind was from when I was a kid. I'm not sure if this was birthday or Christmas, but it was one of those Popple toys, which were like really huge in the 80s at some point. And I really wanted one, and Mum just wouldn't get it for me. In fact, there was probably quite a few things that I wanted, thinking about it, that Mum wouldn't get me, because I also wanted a Barbie, and she wouldn't get me a Barbie either because she thought they were too skinny. And she was absolutely right. I think she's probably been absolutely right on every single thing she's not got me for her own reasons. So that's made me think about how I'll be if my little boy asks for certain things that I don't agree with. And we literally just had this conversation, the two of us, the other day, like, if he asked for such and you didn't approve, what would you do? And we were both like, Yeah, that's difficult actually, but I think I would probably do what Mum did and just not get it, because there's usually a good reason for it, and that's probably because it's total crap. Hopefully we'll be able to steer him down the route of not wanting any crap anyway. And then Holly put a bonus question on her video, which was what makes my Christmas special. I've said it a few times already. For me, it's just about being able to spend quality time with the family, which I know we try to achieve that throughout the year, but being so busy, it's nice if you've got the time off to be able to spend quality time together and just sit down and watch a lovely Christmas film, showing each other how much you love each other as well by, you know, giving gifts and things like that, whatever you can afford to do. It really is a case of the thought that counts when it comes to gifts, I think. If you've really shown that you've thought about the person and what you think that they would like. Even if that means asking them directly, at least you know that you're giving them something that they actually really, really want. But ultimately, it just boils down to spending good quality time with the family. And now that we've got a little boy, it's just going to be even more magical each year, because he's going to be 3 this year in a few weeks' time. Last year, he kind of was aware of things looking a bit different. We had a tree and the lights and stuff, but this year he's kind of entered that territory of Christmas fever, and I think that's really rubbed off on us. And I absolutely love Christmas. It's my favourite time of year, but even he has kind of got me excited that little bit earlier. I've even found myself enjoying watching Christmas adverts. I don't know if it's my age or whatever, but there you go. Anyway, that was the last question. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've been talking forever. I really hope I managed to edit this into some kind of sense and it's not too long. Apologies. I don't know if you're like me. When I'm watching a long YouTube video, I tend to just do the dishes or something and just prop the iPad up against the window, which is asking for trouble. But if it has been a long one, I hope you've managed to do something boring whilst watching me talk about Christmas. There's no one that I am specifically going to tag because I don't really know many people on YouTube other than Holly. So if you're watching this video and you would like to do it yourself, then consider yourself tagged, because it was a lot of fun to think about and reminisce about the holiday season, because like I've said quite a few times, I absolutely love Christmas. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. I'll pop a link just here to my last video if you haven't checked that one out already. And if you're not subscribed to the channel and would like to be, I'll pop the subscribe button just here so you can click that and be notified about new content as and when it gets uploaded. I am uploading quite a lot in December because I'm doing a daily unboxing of my M&S Beauty Advent Calendar. All that's left to say is I hope you're all really well, and I will see you again soon. Bye!